welcome you back to the program, and as we continue on, you know, we all think about things in our lives and plans we need to make and decisions we have to make, and our next two guests really are there to help people in certain times of their lives. Joining us today, a familiar face and a familiar friend, Gemma Heffernan. Welcome back to you, Gemma. Good to have you with us today.
Wonderful.
So Gemma, we've seen you involved in various activities and services here in this community. When
I started here 30 years ago in 1981, my first job was at Saddleback Hospital. I was the first social worker hired for hospice. It was the most difficult job I had to begin with because I had different expectations. Of course, I was a lot younger. But as I went through it, I learned to focus differently. And success was not the cure of the patient, but having the family at the end still standing, happy and delighted that we had been involved and feeling that they had done a great job. So even though I've taken many detours along the way, I always felt that I would come back at the end of my career to hospice.
All right.
I chose this hospice because of the focus and the mission, which is very different to the other 60 hospices in this community. The focus is on celebration to life, which Debbie is going to talk to you about in a little while. But the whole focus was on the family, on a life review, on an opportunity for them to share with family. And we're always astounded that some of the stories that they tell us in this life review is news to the family. They have never realized some of the things that are revealed at this stage, which Debbie will tell you about.
You know, I think a lot of us saw the film a few years ago, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
And that actually opened the floodgates, at least in a lot of the World War II era veterans, to kind of share their story and tell their story, which maybe their kids and grandkids had never heard.
Never heard.
They knew that Grandpa was in the war some time ago, but they really didn't know much about it. You're doing a lot of focus right now on veterans, Debbie. Talk a bit about that special thing you're doing with veterans in the program you have there.
At Hospice Care of the West, we appreciate our country's veterans, and we really want to show them that. We realize that at this time of their lives, many of them are facing unique emotional issues, possibly affected by their time in service, and we want to just really be able to put our arms around them and help them to work through these issues with their loved ones and whoever that is around them at that time. We ask every person when they come on our service if they've served. We have a checklist that we go through so that we really understand them. We give them access to benefits at the VA that they may not have even known that they had the ability to access. And we celebrate with them by giving them a beautiful certificate, thanking them for their service. So our organization is what we call VA-centric. And basically that means from the time that we meet that family until the time that they're no longer with us, and through the 13 months of bereavement that follow, that we're really with them. We weave it throughout our program.
So not only are you serving, in this case, the veteran or the person that's a client of your organization, but also the family after the fact. And I think that's probably where some of the things Gemma talked about comes in as well, of helping the family really to celebrate that person's life and remember them, to be with them at the end, but then also to really memorialize them and acknowledge the things they've accomplished in their life.
Right. We had a gentleman locally who was a veteran who turned 100 years old. Rather than to have the party afterwards, we decided to help him have a party before. He invited 200 of his closest friends, came to the party. The honor guard came, presented him with a flag, and it was just a fabulous time for him and his loved ones.
That's great.
Yeah.
Certainly nice. I know you're, like most businesses these days, getting involved in the social media, as they're calling it, using the internet to benefit your folks in your program there. And I understand you've got both a blog and a website. Talk about some of the differences and some of the things those have to offer.
A blog is a two-way conversation with somebody or the community. A website is really a destination. It's a place you go for information. But a blog is really more than that. It's a opportunity for the community to give feedback to us. So about a year and a half ago, we started a blog, and it's called Our Celebration to Life, and it's a one-stop place for somebody to go and not have to navigate different websites, but really to click on something that interests you. So for example, if you were looking for the AARP, and there was an article in there about that, which there is, they could click on that and they're right at the AARP. or if somebody wanted to do advanced directives and they're not sure about what kind of advanced directive to do, they can go right on the blog and click on different types of advanced directives, and it takes you right to the site where those more information.
So that could be helpful to the individual or to the family member who's assisting them through this process. Yeah, sounds like a great thing. Debbie, final comment?
As a hospice nurse for 20 years, I've never heard anybody say to me that they are disappointed that they had hospice. But what I have heard people say is they're disappointed that they didn't have it earlier. And so just to encourage people, don't be afraid of the H word, don't be afraid of hospice. We're here to be a safety net of support to people and help them to go down this journey with somebody with them.
Debbie, thank you. Gemma, thank you both for being with us on the program. The number there on your screen, if you want to find out more information, it's 1-800-405-1159. You can find out more about hospice care of the West. Thank you both for joining us. Good to have you on the program. To both of you, thank you very much.